Hello, gamers. Leroy Legacy here, and I just want to talk to you about this issue that's been going on between EA and Sony. EA came up with EA Access, which EA Access, for those who don't know, is a subscription based service that allows you to access all of EA's old games and gives you 5 day early access to their newer titles like Dragon Age Inquisition and Battlefield Hardline. And you also get 10% off digitally downloaded games, all for $4.99 a month or $30 a year. It seems legit to me, but Sony declined by saying that it just wasn't a good value for PlayStation owners. Now, the consumers are upset because they feel like Sony took away from them the one thing that Sony built their empire on: choice. They feel that Sony should let the consumer decide what value is, and some of them have even sorry, I'm all tongue tied. Some of them have even begun petitions against Sony's decision. EA isn't a company that I care too much about because they sell me broken, unfinished games and then they try to bleed me with premium subscriptions to games I already purchased for subpar DLC. Their games are almost sports games with yearly releases and they only have roster updates, etc. The only games I care about from EA are Battlefield, Mass Effect, and Fight Night, which used to be called Knockout Kings. I can't even remember the last time I played NBA Live. Don't worry, I'll wait. Despite how I feel about it, I'm a consumer first and a gamer second, and I would have loved to have unlimited access to a publisher's vault. So I was a little upset. After doing some research, I realized something. I shouldn't really be upset about Sony's decision. I had read the terms and service the terms of service, and EA apparently wants everything to go through Sony or Microsoft. The subscription, the downloads, the customer service, you name it. None of it is going through EA, and it's provided by the console that you downloaded the service to. I can only imagine the headache that it would have caused for Sony, and who knows what's going on to stop it there. Like, what if Ubisoft and Activision decide that they want to come up with similar subscription service? For the consumer that decides to download these services, that's three more subscriptions in addition to PlayStation Plus. That's $90 extra a year. I mean, I'm assuming that they're all the same price. Gaming is becoming an expensive hobby. And speaking of PlayStation Plus, Sony has been experimenting with prices on PlayStation Now. Jack Buser, who is the senior director of PlayStation Now, came out and said that PlayStation Now is rigorously working to add subscription to the service. And the PlayStation Now beta is testing individual pricing that would work with the consumers by taking their feedback after every session. I'm beginning to put two and two together now. I'm just going to be real. Sony is a company and they got to eat. Sony is not in the best financial position, so they looked at EA Access as a competition to their service. Honestly, I can understand where they're coming from. They aren't in any position to make any mistakes. They are one bad decision away from being homeless, and if they allow EA to run on their system and EA turns out to be the fan favorite over PlayStation Now, what will that leave Sony? I personally think that they rejected the service to protect themselves, their investors, and their bottom line. After all, the name of the game is get money. What did Modern War Negro say? Step one, get money. Step two, repeat step one. I can't be mad at Sony if that is in fact what's going on here. For $5 a month, EA is going to give you unlimited access to their games, like I said before, whether you're online or offline, and you get to keep the games that you bought, even if your subscription expires. A perk to the subscription is that all digital downloads from EA are 10% discount, so you pay $54.99 for the games, including the DLC. Like, you get 10% off the DLC as well, including like all the microtransactions. What Sony is offering is their entire back catalog, which may or may not include EA titles because we don't really know what's going to go on with that. But at the end, but they're doing it at individual pricing, only because they're in the beta stage right now. Like I said, Sony's Jack Buser claims that they're adding a subscription plan to Sony's PlayStation Now also, but we don't know what the prices are going to look like. The subscription will be offered for those who do not like the individual pricing and will be available to many platforms like the Vita, the PS3, Sony tablets, and connected TVs. So let's get a little bit hypothetical here. Let's play the what if game. What if Sony allows EA and to run on their system and EA is banking? What do other developers like Ubisoft, Activision, and 2K gonna start doing? What if they come up with their own service? What do you think Sony would have to do? Now, see, they're in a tight spot right here. If they let EA in, now there's nothing that they can do to shut out Activision. But let's say that they do shut out Activision. What if Activision feels sour about it and they restrict the support for the PlayStation 4? What if they do decide to lock their games up with with their service? Meaning, now that it's all on the Activision access. Let's just call it that, Activision access. Now they'll probably be like, hey, if you want these games, you got to come. If you want these games digitally, you got to come through us. For one, that could mean that titles offered by Sony are going to be limited, and we will mostly see first-party titles and indies. Since the publishers are taking their games with them, the consumer is going to have to go where the games are, and that's to the Xbox One, Nintendo, and PC. And what will become of Sony? Like what would happen to all the money that they poured into PS Now? They don't make returns like they hope to. See, everything can downward spiral for Sony, and they would be sitting right there where the Sega Dreamcast is. A great system, but a lack of third party support. I'm going to leave you with this one final thought. You have to take into consideration how often is it EA coming up with games, and how often are you going to buy digital games from them at $5 a month? Is that really going to be a benefit? Just something to think about. When you have a PlayStation Now, naysayers aren't interested in the service because they bought the next gen console and don't care about old graphics and old games. Those same people who want EA access want to go back and play Madden '05. I don't think so. Don't tell me you don't care about old graphics, then get excited about EA access to Vault. Just like Sony has to eat, the publishers do too. And I think this could be the answer to the used game market. People that want to play Need for Speed Most Wanted can now do so at no additional charge if they get the subscription. And just like if Sony implements a subscription service to the PlayStation Now, they'd be able to play Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater at no additional charge. You do not need Xbox Live or the internet connection to play the EA games for EA access, but to play them online, both is required. I apologize for my audio going out. What I was saying was that you do not need Xbox Live or an online connection to be able to play the EA Access games that you got. But if you do intend to take, let's say, Battlefield 3 or Battlefield 4 even online, or play Madden against a friend online, you are going to need that subscription and an online connection. This is Leroy Legacy signing off. Have a good one.